Hi guys and girls, Gallifrey Forever 97 here. Welcome to today's Doctor Who Retrospect video, where I'm going to be talking about my time in London this past weekend, attending the BFI Mindwarp Event, which had a Q&A with Colin Baker and Nicola Bryant, and also London Film Fair, where I met Tom Baker for the third time, and much more. Before I delve into my weekend, let me know in the comment section below if you were at any of these events, and let me know what you got up to, if you had a good time, etc. Before going into the BFI on the Saturday morning, I met up with everybody, which was perfectly captured by a brilliant selfie by the Geek's handbag. It was great to chat to everybody before going into the cinema to watch the story. Before going into the BFI, however, I managed to spot Pete McTeer, who's known for writing Kablam and also the new announcement trailers for the Blu-ray box sets. He kindly posed for a photo. I congratulate him for his most recent work on the Doctor Who stuff with Series 11 and the trailers. He was super friendly and really appreciative. After sitting down in the screening, I was with Adam the Ultimate Whovian and Ben from the Host Productions, who was his first time going to one of these events. The screening was kicked off with a quiz, which they usually do, and they have some amazing Blu-ray prizes. Also, thank you to the presenter Justin, where my Mindwarp BFI trailer was shouted out by him, and he said, "Oh, it's Gallifrey Forever 97." And I kind of put my hand up in the air. I was like, "Yeah." I had a round of applause as well. I don't know who'd probably seen it in the BFI. Yeah, it was really surreal. That was is this happening? But no, yeah, thank you to Justin who shouted out the trailer. It's a really kind gesture. And obviously, as a sort of editor who wants to be a video editor, kind of gets my work out there. So yeah, thank you very much if you're watching this. The first two episodes were aired in sort of one go. Of course, they've been upscaled to Blu-ray. They look absolutely glorious. And it's also been edited for 5 points surround sound, which is a whole new experience to watching the episode, with the theme having the layers kind of more stick out, and also the atmosphere of the episode elevated as well. Before the next two parts of the screen, we have a Q&A with Mark Ayres, who has edited all the 5 points surround sound for this Blu-ray and all the others. And also on stage was the original composer for Mindwarp, Richard Hartley. Now, interestingly enough, this was the only story of that season that didn't have the original score as a separate track. So obviously, with the 5 point surround mixes, kind of edit it all, you need to have separate tracks to kind of edit the music and the little sound effects as well. Richard re-recorded all of the old tracks and the sound effects for Mark to use for the 5 point surround sound. It's really interesting to get into that kind of aspect, which is again another amazing aspect of the box sets, which a lot of hours go into. I think he mostly stuck to the same tracks. I think he might have tweaked one or two things you mentioned. Of course, well, this is the extended edits of the episode, which I don't realise until halfway through. Yeah, he was really great for the opportunity. I think he was really excited to kind of revisit his work he did over 30 years ago. So when they started episode 3, unfortunately there was a technical error where I think one of the files were corrupted, so it just stopped and paused. They did try to play an alternative sound source, but when they played it, it sounded like they were all underwater. It was really muffled. But after 20 minutes of trying to organise it, they skipped 30 seconds onwards past the corrupted bit of the file, and it played fine. But in that 20-minute time gap, they actually played the Rark, who's a creature that attacks the Doctor and Perry at the beginning of the story. And he was loving it. I think he was soaking up this part that he did sort of 30 years ago, and now he's on stage talking about it. And also Phil Newman revealed his new Seal creation that he's done for the new real-time production movie called Seal and the Devil's Seas of Arador, which is amazing work. It literally looked like him plucked from the story from that time, given a slight new update. So I look forward to kind of watching that movie and being like, I've seen that prop. So when I watched the final 2 episodes, we then got to see the special features stuff, which I believe been kindly edited and given to us by Chris Chapman. So there's 3 sneak peeks we got to see. The first sneak peek was a montage of the outtakes and all the funniest bits from the outtakes edited together for comedic effect, and honestly the whole theatre was in a ball of laughs. Secondly, we saw a portion of the Doctor Who cookbook documentary revisited version where all the actors who produced recipes for that book came back to actually do it. We got to see the first one, which was with Sarah Sutton and Janet Fielding, with Toby Haddock to assist. But as you can tell by Janet Fielding's character, she took over. Honestly, it's absolutely brilliant and hilarious, and I can't wait to see the others. Finally, we got a sneak peek of the new Behind the Sofa, and this was, I think, the first 10 minutes roughly of the Mysterious Planet, which is really cool to see, kind of, I guess, old and new coming on board with kind of the 80s cast with Colin, Nicola and Bonnie Langford. And on the second you've got Matthew Mark Strickson, who've done it before, but also Fraser Hines, who's never done it before, but it's nice, obviously, he was in the Colin Baker era as Jamie, in the two Doctors. Colin Baker and Nicole Bryant were there to do a Q&A, and it was really nice to see that chemistry on screen is so vivid and more riveting in real life. They talked about so much stuff surrounding that season and their time on Doctor Who. Like Nicola, for example, shared a kind of funny story about how she found out about the Doctor Who hiatus for season 23. She got a phone call from this journalist saying, "Oh, can you comment about the death of Doctor Who?" And she thought that Colin had died. So she was in hysterics, and then I think John Nathan phoned up and she was like blubbering mess. And he said, "Oh, what are you talking about? It's not that bad." So it was quite funny because she was saying obviously it was bad news, but compared to what she thought it wasn't that bad. And also Colin kind of talking about the position he was put in at the end of the season. There is this Radio Times article which has come out based on the comments from the event. A lot of people have been talking about on Twitter, etc. But I think everyone there really did support him. If you were put in his position, I would have done the regeneration, which I think he does regret, but obviously in Big Finish they've done the last adventure, which is his regeneration, properly done. So I think he's pleased he's done that, kind of corrected his mistakes. But in all honesty, he was in a very poor position. They treated him very badly. The screening was rounded off with the debut of the season 23 cinema trailer, which will be online, I believe, once the actual box set is released. They kind of do it as an announcement of the box set being out now. Like the season 10 one is very, very different. Probably the most self-aware trailers for Doctor Who I've seen. Being very much inspired by the kind of mind-bending stuff of the Matrix from that season. It's probably one of the most unique trailers, yeah. Honestly, I can't wait for everyone to see it. I'm sure it'll be very divisive, but I really can't wait to see people's reaction, because I was watching it just in awe, this is insane. Yeah, kudos to the idea and obviously the execution of the editing, which I really appreciate. There was a signing with Colin and Nicola after the screening, which I didn't attend. However, thank you to Pete. He picked up me one of these postcards, which they were exclusively signing. There was a load after they finished the signing, so I'm really happy that I managed to pick one of these up. So thank you to him for picking one of these up. Overall, absolutely amazing day. Another fantastic screening. I highly recommend, if you haven't been to one of these screenings before, they're just an absolute blast. A celebration of the fandom and the era that screening shown the episode from. It's a real celebration. Thank you to everyone who puts those events on, because I know a lot of hard work goes into them behind the scenes, as well as the box sets as well. Now on to the next event, which was on the Sunday, which was London Film Fair 2019, where I went to specifically meet Tom Baker, who obviously played the Fourth Doctor. I found out that Tom Baker was turning up at 12 o'clock. The event started at 10. I met up with Ben, the host productions. We had a look around the stalls, which had honestly loads of rare merchandise, including the original rare cinema posters. They even had some of the Dalek movie posters with Peter Cushing. So that was a real nice glance to see that. And also signed bits of merchandise, including Big Finish sets, and also the collection Blu-ray sets, which were very expensive. So if you ever saw Tom come in, and he was driven up by a chauffeur, and he got out the cart and there was a bus coming. The bus was going to stop in time, but Tom finally from his walking sticks stopped him as a joke, and everyone was sort of laughing. And the bus driver saluted him. He must have knew that he was Tom Baker, the Doctor. It'd be funny if he grew up with him and he must have been really tripped out when driving. He was like, "Oh my god, Doctor Who's in front of me." Tom Baker's photo shoot was later in the afternoon. The viewers decided to go to Forbidden Planet, which was just down the road. The only thing I picked up was this Doctor Who magazine, which I've been trying to pick up for ages, but there was a stock issue, so I've only managed to pick up now, literally the last week. That is in stores. And then here it is. Here's my photo with the man himself. Really, really nice poses. Each photo I've seen from people, he's kind of doing a different Doctor pose. You can tell that's a fantastic time doing the photo shoots. And I'm really happy with mine. Both my expression and his expression is just perfect. So it's a photo I'm really going to cherish. For people that have obviously done these kind of photo shoots before, it's very, very quick. So I just hi Tom, and he's like, hello. I had the photo, and I was like, goodbye, have a nice day. He's like, goodbye, goodbye. Again, thank you to Pete, actually, who took some photos whilst he was connecting me taking the photo, which was absolutely amazing. So thank you, Pete, very much. Alternative angle you don't usually see. After the photo shoot, it was time to get my autograph with Tom Baker, and I decided to get Scratchman, which is a fantastic book if you haven't read it. I think it's mostly written by James Goss, but there's a lot of ideas and maybe some portions written by Tom. So I decided to get it signed, and he has literally just put Tom Baker. So I was chatting to him about the book. I think he just forgot to kind of put it. But I do prefer this actually, because it looks like it's kind of like a personalised Scratchman written by Tom Baker. So if I had my name, I think it would have ruined it. But it's funny because he asked me a question about it. He's like, have you read the book? And I was like, yes, I have, Tom. He said, oh, did it make you laugh? And I said, oh, yes, I did. I said, I had me on the edge of my seat reading it. And he was like, oh, and he shook my hand. And I was like, oh, thank you for this. And yeah, it was a really lovely touching moment. So Amazing time meeting Tom, both for the photo shoot and autograph. After everybody kind of met Tom for the autograph, went out of the venue to look at some locations for the War Machines, which was literally, again, just down the road. So we went to the park where the TARDIS lands in the story. None of us were too sure where specifically the TARDIS was, but we found one of the doors where William Hartnell goes up to in the story. We also went on to some side streets where we actually see the War Machines going down, which has changed a lot since the original episode was released. Then we ended up with the BT Tower, which obviously makes its debut in that story, and it was very new at the time, but it was amazing sort of going under it and seeing the kind of full size and range of it. It's absolutely mental. It's still operational. It used to be a restaurant, which I don't think it is anymore. But yeah, it's just amazing to see these kind of real locations which were used over 50 years ago. They've honestly not that much changed since then when they originally broadcast. So that is a really kind of special thing to see. And the day and the weekend was rounded off with the Quiz of Rassilon, which happens every month. It's a really great event in Shoreditch. There's a Series 8 special around Terence Dix, the Ropes of Sherwood, the Caves of Anjani, the City of Death. Really, really great time answering questions and sort of catching up with old friends. So there you go, that's my Dot 2 retrospect of my London weekend going to BFI Mindwarp, the Tom Baker event, War Machine locations, and the Quiz of Rassilon. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, like, and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, links to that stuff in the description below. Were you at any of these events? Did you have a great weekend? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to leave you now with a slideshow of photos which I took and other people took, sort of joining selfies for you to enjoy. So I hope you enjoy that. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!